Hello students, this is Akshata, your educator, and I welcome you all on the platform of Global Online. For upcoming CTET December 2023 examination, Global Online application has come up with a complete course where we'll be discussing the whole syllabus of the CTET examination. In this particular series, we have started with the mathematics paper 1 and paper 2 preparation, in which we'll be talking about the divisibility test in today's lecture. I'll be teaching the concepts along with the MCQs, okay? So without any further ado, let's discuss a bit about the course and we'll start the lecture. For your upcoming CTET examination 2023, for the paper 1 as well as for the paper 2 preparation, Global Online application has come up with a complete course. Here following features will be provided to you: full syllabus video lectures. Here the educators will share you lots of tips and tricks for all the topics, okay? Along with all the doubts will be cleared in this video lectures itself. Full syllabus notes will be provided to you in the form of PDF. 50 plus mock test. The mock test will help you to test your preparation. Along with this, friends, the questions asked in the mock test can be directly replicated in the examination. Hence, this is very much important. Along with this, you'll be provided with the full syllabus MCQ PDF. So all these above features will be provided to you in the course fees of just 3,000 rupees. This fees is for the paper 1 as well as for the paper 2, that is compiled paper 1 and paper 2 will cost you 3,000 rupees. If you are targeting for an individual paper 1 or for the paper 2, the fees for the paper 1 is 2,000. For the paper 2 it is again 2,000 rupees, okay? So you have to contact us on this given WhatsApp number for the enrollment of the course and for the further more details. So this was the question that I have given you in the last lecture as a homework, okay? So which of the following is a prime number? Is a prime number, that asks us, okay? What is prime number? Basically, prime number is a number which is having only two factors. Only two factors, okay? So this is a part of your syllabus and okay, so this is the part from where questions have been directly asked in the previous year question papers as well, and it will be surely asked in your upcoming examination. So do clear this prime number concept if you have not cleared yet, okay? So what is the prime numbers? It is having only two factors. So based upon this particular concept, options given are 9. So 9 is having how many factors? 9 comes in the table of 1, it comes in the table of 3, as well as it comes in the table of 9. So there are 3 factors, right? 8 is having how many factors? We have already discussed about 8. 8 comes in the table of 1, 2 as well, 4 as well as the 8. Okay, these are the 4 factors of 8. It cannot be also the prime number. 4 is also not the prime number. Basically, 4 comes in table of 1, 2 and 4. It is having 3 factors. So this is also not again a prime number. The left out number is 2, and we have discussed that 2 is the only even prime number. So answer for this question is option number D. Okay, moving on to the next question. This was the question again that I have given you as a homework. All the prime numbers are odd numbers. Option 1 is true, option B is false, option C is both A and B, and option D was none of A and B. So right now, just we have discussed in the previous question, 2 is a number which is an even number as well as it is a prime number. So yes, it is an even prime number. You can write it in your notes that 2 is the only even prime numbers. Other than 2, no other even number is going to be the prime number, okay? So this is the answer for the given question. So all the prime numbers are odd numbers? No. Some statements you have to just keep in your mind factually, okay? These are the factual things. Just keep in mind, okay, that 2 is the only even prime number. So based upon this particular statement, we can clearly say that only 2 is the even prime number. So all the prime numbers cannot be odd numbers, because we know 2 is the even number. So this statement is going to be the false statement, okay? This is going to be the false statement. All the prime numbers are not odd numbers. We can say that all the prime numbers are odd numbers except 2, okay? So in today's lecture, we'll be talking about the most important topic of your examination, that is divisibility test. Divisibility test, and question had been asked from this topic and will be asked as well, okay? So divisibility test. Starting from the divisibility test of 2. Whenever we talk about the divisibility test of 2, friends, just you have to see the last digit. Just look at the last digit. If the last digit is an even number, if it is an even number, then we are going to say that particular number is divisible by 2. Okay, example 429732. Okay, example number 2, 783292. Okay, example number 3. Okay, so if you look at this example, you just have to focus on the last digit, last digit, last digit. Okay, to check whether this given number is divisible by 2 or not, we just have to check the last digit. In case of example number 1 and example number 2, the last digit is even number. The last digit is even number, right? But in case of the example number 3, the last digit is the odd number. So from this we can clearly state that the statement number 1 and the 2, okay, not the statements, example number 1 and example number 2 are divisible by 2, but the third one is not divisible by 2. Okay, so if the last digit is an even number, that is 2, 4, 6, 8 and so on. Okay, so if you find any one of these, then this particular number is going to be divisible by 2. I hope you got this. Okay, so in exam again they will give you one particular number and they will ask you to find whether that given number is divisible by 2 or not. Similarly it goes for the other number as well, that is 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and so on. Let's move on to the divisibility test of 3 now. We have seen for 2, that is the last number should be even number. Okay, in case of divisibility test of 3, if they ask you or give you any number, for example if they are talking about a number named 308, and they're asking us check whether this given number is divisible by 3 or not. To check this, what you have to do is step number 1, take summation of the individual numbers, that is 3 plus 0 plus 8. Take the summation. Okay, what the summation comes over here? 11. Okay, so now what you have to do is divide the summation by 3. Divide the summation by 3. Okay, that is, if I divide 11 by 3, I can clearly see that here 11 is not divisible by 3. So hence I can say that 308 is also not divisible by 3. Not divisible by 3. What you have to do? Step number 1, take the addition of the individual number. You can consider any number. Okay, you just have to take sum of the digits over there. Take sum of the digits, sum of digits, and whatever the sum is going to come, divide the sum. This is step number 1, this is step number 2. Okay, I'll write it as AB, okay, not to get confused. So step number B is what? Second step, that is here you have to simply divide the sum by 3. Divide sum by 3. If it is divisible, then the whole number will be divisible by 3. If not, then it is not divisible by 3. We'll take a few more examples, like for example 516. Okay, to check whether this number is divisible by 3 or not, what we'll do? We'll take the summation of the digits given in this number, that is 5 plus 1 plus 6. This will give me 12. Okay, so if I divide this summation by 3, I can clearly see that this number is divisible by 12 is divisible by 3, right? 3 4s are 12. So hence I can clearly conclude that if 12 is divisible by 3, then 516 is also divisible by 3. Okay, so this is how you have to check. Just practice, take few examples on your own and you can practice. Okay, this is very simple. You have to take summation of the digits and then check the summation is divisible by 3 or not. Okay, similarly now we'll study, instead of going for 4, we'll study the divisibility rule of 9, because the divisibility rule of 9 is again same as that of 3. Okay, so let's study the divisibility of 9. For 9, what we are going to do again, here the rule of the divisibility of 9 is again similar to that of 3. That is, we have to take the summation of the digits of the number and divide it by 9. For example, if I take a number that is 78532. For this particular given number, you have to take summation, that is 7 plus 8 plus 5 plus 3 plus 2. What is the summation of this? This will give me total is equal to 25. Divide this 25 by 9. If you divide this 25 by 9, we can clearly see that this particular given number is not divisible by 9. Hence this whole number this complete number is not divisible by 9. That is 78532 is not divisible by 9. Okay, hence you have to understand this, that in case of 3, in case of 9, in case of both these, divisibility rule of 3 as well as 9, we take the summation of the digits and divide the summation by 3 and 9 respectively. Okay, try to understand this. Okay, after this we'll study the divisibility rule of 4. I hope you have got the divisibility test of 2. Till now we have seen the divisibility test of 2, we have seen the divisibility test of 3, seen the divisibility test of 9. Okay, so in case of 2 we have seen the last digit should be even number. In case of 3, what we have taken, we have taken the summation of the digits and divide that summation by 3. We have taken the summation of the digits in case of 9 and divided it by 9. If it is divisible, then the whole number is also divisible by 3. In case of 9, if it is divisible by 9, then the complete number is also divisible by 9. Very simple rules. Moving on to the divisibility test of 4. Divisibility test of 4. We'll study it faster and then we'll solve the questions based on this. Okay, so when we talk about the divisibility test of 4, students, we have to check the last 2 digits. We have to check last 2 digits. In case of 2, what we had done, in case of the divisibility rule of 2, what we had done, we have checked the last 1 digit. Last 1 digit. If the last 1 digit was basically even number, or we can also say that if the last number is divisible by 2, then the complete number was divisible by 2. In case of the divisibility rule of 4, what you have to do is check the last 2 digits. Last 2 digits. Okay, for example, I have a number 1958, 1998. Few more numbers I would like to take over here. 2308. Okay, so if we look at these particular numbers which I have mentioned here, we just have to check the last 2 digits. We just have to check the last 2 digits. Clearly looking at the number 1, 58 is the last 2 digit of this given number, 98 is the last 2 digit of this number, 08 is the last 2 digit of this given number. So I'll divide it by 4. So 58 is not divisible by 4. 58 does not comes in the table of 4, right? So this particular given number is not divisible by 4. Similarly, 98 is again not divisible by 4 because 98 does not comes in the table of 4. But if I talk about 08, it is divisible by 4, 02 or 2 simply, right? So it is divisible by 4. If I take few more examples like 23978288, to check whether this particular given number is divisible by 4 or not, I'll just check the last 2 digits. What are the last 2 digits? 88. So divide this 88 by 4. This is divisible. This will give me 22. Yes. So if the last 2 digits are divisible by 4, it means this complete number will be also divisible by 4. Got it? This is the rule. We just have to check the last 2 digits. Okay, compulsorily you have to check the last 2 digits only. Okay, if those are divisible, it means the whole number, that is the complete number, is divisible by 4. Okay, at the same time, after studying divisibility test of 4, we will come back to the divisibility test of 8. Okay, we'll come to the divisibility test of 8. What is divisibility test of 8 talking about? Let us see now. Divisibility test of 8. In case of 4, what we have done, we have seen the last 2 digits. In case of 8, what are we going to do over here? We are going to check the last 3 digits. Last 3 digits. Okay, once again, in case of 2, divisibility rule of 2, we have checked the last 1 digit. In case of the divisibility test of 4, we have seen the last 2 digits only. In case of divisibility test of 8, we are going to check the last 3 digits. If the last 3 digits of any given number are divisible by 8, then the number is completely divisible by 8. For example, if I take here 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 4. Okay, if I look here, if I look at the last three digits, what are the last three digits over here? 344. Just consider this last three digits. The last three digits are 344. Divide this 344 by 8. Check whether 344 is divisible by 8 or not. So we can clearly see that 344 given here is divisible by 8. If it is divisible by 8, then the original number is also divisible by 8. Okay, students, the rules are very simple. You just have to plan a proper way in which you are going to learn these rules. Okay, as in case of 2 we have seen the last digit, last one digit. In case of 4 we have seen the last two digits. Yes, in case of 8 what we are going to see now? Last three digits. This is the way, this is the manner where we can study it. In case of 3 what we have seen, just take this summation and divide the summation by 3. In case of 9 we have taken the summation and divided it by 9. Till now we have studied divisibility test of 2, divisibility test of 4, 8, 3 and 9. You just have to remember in proper way. Okay, so here in case of divisibility test of 8, you just have to focus on the last three digits of a given number, and if the given number's last three digit is divisible by 8, then the original also number will be divisible by 8. Okay, moving on to the next divisibility test. Now we have seen divisibility test of 2, we have seen the divisibility test of 3, then of 9. Okay, then 4 as well we have checked. Now moving on to divisibility test of 5 and 10. Very simple. When we talk about, I will teach you both at once only because it is very simple. When we talk about the divisibility test of 5, in case of divisibility test of 5, you just have to check last digit. Okay, you just have to check last digit. If the last digit of any given number consists of 0 and 5, if the last digit of any given number consists of 0 and 5, once again, divisibility rule of 5 says that if the last digit consists of 0 or 5, then that particular given number is divisible by 5. Examples are, for example, 10. 10 is divisible by 5 because the last digit is 0. In case of 10,000, for example, the last digit is what? 0. So this is also divisible by 5. If number is 100001005, the last digit is 5 over here. So this is divisible by 5. One more number, 3965483255. The last digit is given over here is 5. Then this whole number is divisible by 5. You just have to check the last digit. If last digit is 0, if last digit is 0 or the last digit is 5, then the complete number, then this given complete number is divisible by 5. Very simple rule. Okay, if the last digit is 0 or 5, 0 or 5, इनमें से कोई भी, it can be 0 or it can be 5. Okay, any one of them is there at the end of any given number, last digit of the number is divisible by 5. This is a divisibility rule of 5. But when we jump to the divisibility rule of 10, here the last digit should contain only 0. Only 0. Okay, in case of divisibility rule of 10, last digit should have 0. Okay, the divisibility rule of 10 states simply that any number whose last digit is 0 is divisible by 10. For example, 10, 20, 1000, 50. Okay, for example, 6000, 70,000. Okay, in case of all the given numbers, the last digit is 0, last digit is 0, last digit is 0. Yes, last digit is 0. So this given number's last digit is 0. It means the number is divisible by 10. At the same time, the last digit is 0. It means the number is divisible by 5 as well. So you have to remember the rules of divisibility rules of 5 and 10 in such a way that any number whose last digit will contain 0, the number will be divisible by 10 as well as 5. Last digit if the last digit of any number is 0, last digit of any number is 0, then the number is divisible by 5 as well as the number is divisible by 10. Okay, if the last digit of any given number is having 5 at the end of the digit, okay, so this number is divisible by 5 but it is not divisible by 10. Okay, it is not divisible by 10, but the last digit, if it has 0, it is divisible by 5 as well as 10. You have to remember in such a way. Okay, and if 5, then only divisible by 5. Okay, moving on to the next rule. Now we have seen the divisibility rule of 2 and 3. So using that, we'll be talking about the divisibility rule of 6, which is very important, again, exam point of view, because the question have been asked from this particular divisibility rule. Okay, so when we talk about the divisibility rule of 6, you should mandatorily know the divisibility rule of 2 and 3. What was the divisibility rule of 2? The last digit should be even. Last digit should be even. In case of divisibility test of 3, what we have seen, take the summation of all the digits and divide it by 3. If it is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. Okay, this was about 2 and this was again about 3. So what does divisibility rule of 6 talks about then? Number which are divisible by both 2 and 3. Numbers which are divisible by compulsorily by 2 and 3, not 2 or 3. It should be compulsorily divisible by 2 as well as by 3. If they are divisible by both these numbers, then the number is automatically divisible by 6. Got it? Numbers which are divisible by both 2 and 3 are divisible by 6. That is, if the last digit of the given number is even number and the summation of all the digits is divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 6. For example, just look at a number 630. Okay, the number is divisible by 2. Why? Because last digit is 0. This given number is divisible by 2. Why? Because the last number is 0. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. What are these? These are the even numbers, right? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Similarly, last digit or given over of the number 630 is 0. It means the number is divisible by 2. The number is divisible by 2. Step number 1 is cleared. Step number 2, the number should be divisible by 3 as well. To check this, take summation of this 6 plus 3 plus 0. Divide by 3. That is 9 divided by 3, and 9 is divisible by 3. It means 630 is also divisible by 3. The number is divisible by 2 as well as it is divisible by 3. It means both are actually followed. That is, both the rules are followed. That is, number is divisible by 2 and by 3. Hence 630 is divisible by 6. Got it? This is how you have to remember. Okay, so check whether the number is divisible by 2. For checking the number is divisible by 2 or not, we have to check the last digit, whether it is 0, 2, 4, 6 or 8. Similarly, for 3, we'll take the summation of all the digits divided by 3. If it is divisible by 3, then the number will be divisible by 3. And if both the rules of 2 and 3 are followed, then the number is divisible by 6 as well. Okay, so this was quite interesting. We have studied till now the divisibility rule of, just let me go through it once. Divisibility test of 2. We have seen the divisibility test of 3, then of 6. You have to remember in this pattern. If you know the divisibility test of 2 and 3, you know the divisibility test of 6, right? You know the divisibility test of 5, then you know divisibility test of 10 as well. Last digit should be 0 or 5. Last digit should be 0. Last digit should be even number. Okay. 3, take the summation divided by 3. For 6 you have to check the divisibility test of 2, you have to check the divisibility test of 3. If both are followed, then it is divisible by 6. For the divisibility test of 9, we have seen take the summation divided by 9. Okay, so these were few that we have studied. Including that, we have studied divisibility test of 4. We have to check the last two digit. In case of divisibility test of 8, we have checked the last 3 digits. Yes, this is how you have to remember. Okay, if you just club it together, that is going to help you a lot to remember. Okay, so yes, moving on to the next. I think the divisibility rule of 11 is pending and the divisibility rule of 7 is pending, if I'm not wrong. Okay, so divisibility rule of actually 7 is quite, I cannot say it is difficult, but it is quite little bit tricky. Okay, so how to understand it, I'll tell you stepwise. Okay, for that, to understand the divisibility rule of 7, but I can say that it is a bit complicated, so we will split it to understand. Okay, divisibility rule of 7, it is a bit complicated, so we'll just split it. Okay, so step number 1, what you have to do here is, step number 1, please write down the steps. Remove the last digit. Remove the last digit of number. You have to remove the last digit of the number and double it, and you have to double it. For example, if the last digit is 4, then you have to double it. Okay, simply you have to convert it into 4 then 8. Okay, if it is 3, if the last digit is 3, you will double it. It means you will convert the 3 into 6. Okay, step number 2, this was step number 1. Now step number 2, subtract it from remaining number. Okay, we have removed the last digit. Okay, we have doubled it. Then we'll subtract that double number from the remaining number. I'll tell you, just write down the steps. When I'll give you the example, then you understand it quite in depth. Okay, so step number 3 here, is the number 0. You have to check that whether the given number or the obtained number is 0 or recognizable two digit number which is multiple of 7, you have to check this. Okay, just understand the steps. Please try to understand. I'll explain this divisibility test of 7 with example, then you'll understand it. First you have to write down the steps. It is mandatory. You have to remove the last digit in step number 1 and then double it. Subtract the double number from the remaining number, then you will get some number. Okay, after subtracting, if you get 0 or recognizable two digit multiple of 7, it means two digit number it should be, and it should be the multiple of 7. If you get it, if yes, okay, if you get it, then what you have to do, and if you don't get it, what you have to do, I'll tell you. Okay, just let me rub out this slide. If you get it, if yes, if you get a 0, or if you get a number, two digit number which is multiple of 7, if you get it, if yes, then what you are going to do, that it is divisible by 7. If we get, then the number is divisible by 7. If yes, then the number is divisible by 7. If not, if we don't get it, if we don't get 0, or if we don't get any two digit number which is not divisible by 7, then yes, the number is not divisible by 7. Not divisible by 7. Okay, so if not, for this again one condition is there, I'll tell you. If not, then again basically, if not, If we cannot actually directly conclude it is not divisible by 7, we again actually have to jump to the first step. If not then we have to jump to the first step. Okay, you have to jump to the first step again. Okay, once again I would like to tell you, in this particular given divisibility rule of 7, you have to remove out the last digit of that number. Okay, for example, the number is 4, then you have to remove out 4. Okay, last digit 4, then you have to remove it out and double it. What you will do after doubling 4? 4 will convert into 8. Okay, so we'll subtract the 8 from the remaining number. Okay, and after subtracting, if we are getting 0 or we are getting a 2-digit number multiple of 7, if we are getting 0 or a 2-digit number which is multiple of 7, multiple of 7 means which comes in the table of 7, simple. Okay, if it comes in the table of 7 or if it is 0, then at that time we can clearly say that that particular given number is divisible by 7. If not, then simply you have to actually follow the steps again. You have to follow the steps again. Okay, now let me take the example of this. Let's take the example. Question. Okay, here, is 1073 divisible by 7 or not? We are going to check. What was step number 1? To check whether a given number is divisible by 7 or not, we have to actually remove the last digit. What is the last digit given here? 3. So I have removed 3. Okay. In step 1, there was one rule that remove the last digit and double it. So if I double 3, 3 into 2, I'll get 6. Right? If I double it, I'll get 6. After removing number and after doubling it, what was step number 2? Step number 2 was talking about subtract this number from the rest number. After removing 3, what is the rest number? Rest number is 107. So subtract 6 from 107. So what I'll get over here? 101. Step number 2 is clear? Okay. Moving on to the step number 3. Okay. Now, after step number 2, we have seen that after step number 2, we have seen that subtract it from the remaining number. We have done step number 2. But we got 0. Have we got 0 over here? No. We even have not got a multiple of 7 or a 2-digit multiple of 7. So we are going to repeat this step again. That is again from 101. From 101, we will remove the last digit. We will remove the last digit, that is 1. Okay. After removing 1, I'll double it again. 1 into 2, this will give me 2. What is step number 2 again? I have actually repeated the step number 1 and now I'll repeat the step number 2. What is step number 2? Subtract the doubled number from the remaining number. If I remove 1, what is the number left? 10. 10 minus 2 if I do, what I'll get? Number 8. Got it? Now as 8 is a single digit number and 8 is not divisible by 7, hence I can clearly say that 1073 is not divisible by 7. Please try to understand what I have done till now. Okay. First, I have removed the last digit, I have doubled it and subtracted it from the remaining number. Even after subtracting it, I am getting 3-digit number, which is again not a multiple of 7. So I'll repeat the step number 1 and step number 2, which I have done over here. This is step number 1 and step number 2, which has been repeated. That is, I have removed again last digit, I have doubled it and subtracted the double number from the left number. So I'll get 8 over here. Okay. So 8 is a single digit and we know that 8 is not divisible by 7. Hence we can conclude that 1073 is not divisible by 7. Okay. I hope you have got this divisibility rule of 7. If not, then we'll be discussing few more questions in the upcoming lecture. You will get over there. Okay. One more divisibility rule is pending right now. That is divisibility rule of 11. Okay, which is important and exam point of view for paper 1 as well as for the paper 2. It is very much important because questions have been asked based upon the divisibility rule of 11. Okay, divisibility rule of 12 is also important, but again divisibility rule of 12 is dependent on the divisibility rule of 3 and 4. If a number is divisible by both 3 and 4, then the number is divisible by 12. Okay, so here you just have to check for divisibility rule of 12 that whether a given number is following the divisibility rule of 3 and 4. If it is following, then the number is divisible by 12. Okay, one more it is important, that is divisibility rule of 13, that I'll teach you tomorrow. The divisibility rule of 11, 12, 13 will be discussed in your upcoming lecture. Okay, next lecture, as well as I'll give you lots of MCQ practice. Okay, and frequently asked questions will be discussed based upon the divisibility rule in tomorrow's lecture. Then we'll end up this topic and then we'll start up with the new topic from day after tomorrow onwards. Okay, so this was the end of today's lecture. Thank you for joining it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and let me know in the comment section. As well as students, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe it, so whenever a video is uploaded or whenever I come live on this particular channel, then you can get the notification over here. Okay, so thank you for joining the session. Have a great day everyone. Bye.